Good morning and welcome to your early morning intuitive guidance. I'm Dr. Bonnie Nussbaum here with some words of wisdom to start your day off well. And happy spring! Happy spring! That equinox rolled in with a lot of blessings yesterday. It was absolutely gorgeous. I sat out on my front porch and just kind of soaked up the sun and listened to the snow melting and listened to the birds calling. They were quite happy with their spring day. So I figured I would put on some spring colors here. And then a friend of mine, Pat, sent me a happy grandma card and it matches perfectly. Thought that was awesome. So I got to show you my card. Isn't that lovely? She makes those. I got to get back to making cards. That was a nice opportunity for some creativity. Good morning, Barb. Glad you are here. Welcome, welcome. Hope a bunch of your snow melted yesterday. We had water running everywhere. They didn't think there was going to be risk of flooding this year, which is fabulous. But yeah, it's probably half of what it was. And today we are supposed to make it up to 60 degrees. So that will also take care of some of the white stuff and water everything. And my hyacinths were already up this far anyway. Yes, it was lovely. Really enjoyed it. So yeah. And I had fun yesterday. We are to the point now where Dad's really not able to be on his own for long. So we're modifying what we're doing in terms of for those of you who don't know, my mom was a dealer. She had antiques and collectibles and 7 storage units worth. And then they bought a warehouse and moved it all to the warehouse. And her comment was, as she looked around, "Oh my God, I'm leaving you guys a mess." And we're like, yeah, here we are. So actually, we're coming up on the 6th anniversary of her passing, and we're still digging our way through stuff. So yesterday, I met a young woman over there who brought a friend, which was wonderful that she brought a friend. And her friend bought $300 worth, and this woman bought $600 worth. And it was a $993 day, which was fabulous. So moved a lot of stuff out, and now I have space to put more stuff out. So yeah, I think we're going to be doing more of the one-on-one thing than actual rummage sales anymore, because Dad's just not able to be here. And it really is kind of a two-person thing at the sale if you have everybody there at once. Whereas if I'm just dealing with 1 or 2 people, I can manage that on my own. So it was fun. It was really fun. I was tired when I got home then. But then I was making food for today because I'm going to visit my little family. I saw a video of my grandbaby and I'm like, oh my goodness, I need to go see her. So I'll be driving up to Menominee, Michigan today and ask them what they were hungry for, thinking they'd pick out something elaborate that I like to make. No, baked dish and crunchy top bars. Same old, same old. So I will happily haul them baked dish and crunchy top bars. So, to get us grounded and centered and ready to receive today's message, which I think is such a good message and an opportunity for us to step into that expansion that we've been talking about, let's not cram everybody and everything into a little box. Let's expand. Let's expand. So, let's start with some tapping and some breath. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Oh, that felt good. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Barb, so far you're the only one joining me today. In through the nose, out through the mouth. I think I was on a little bit earlier than usual. So just kind of wiggle your neck, listen to the creaks and cracks in there, getting that neck lubed up for the day so that we can look around at all the beautiful stuff that's out there waiting to please us. So today we have Tosha Silver's Outrageous Openness, Letting the Divine Take the Lead. And I haven't read this chapter in ages, but it's a really solid read for right here, right now. You must need this badly. Absolutely so. You get your own private reading today. How's that? So if you like to read along in the book, this is chapter 14, page 173. The chapter title is The Higher Octave. Let's lift ourselves up. And this particular chapter is Be Your Whole Dazzling Chart. Be Your Whole Dazzling Chart. And somewhere in the book, I think it was earlier in the book, she talks about having done a reading with a young woman who came into the reading basically saying, well, of course I'm this, and I can't be that because I'm this sign in that, and blah, blah. And Tosha said to her, you're really limiting yourself, basically. Rolla, Missouri, glad you're here. Welcome, Jo Neal. Barb was getting a total reading by herself because no one else was here right now. So glad you're here. Welcome, welcome. Her point was, humans are complex beings. And yes, because we have this cortex, there's still a part of us that wants to compartmentalize things, make our lives easy by lumping things into a certain category. Welcome to whomever else is here. I see we've got another person who popped on. So we pick a label, whether I'll just pick some: liberal, conservative, man, woman, old, young. We apply a whole plethora of stuff to those labels. And interestingly, Jo Neal and I've had this conversation repeatedly. We're probably more similar across those, or within those labels, or across those labels, than we are within those labels. There is so much difference between human beings, and there's also so much that's similar. But what are we looking for? Are we looking for the similarities, the common ground, or are we looking for the differences in order to, and if we're looking for the differences, what's our purpose? Are we looking for those differences in order to us and them? Or are we looking to those differences in order to enjoy the plethora of people who are out there? To me, the world would be pretty boring if we were all cookie cutter. We need the variety. It makes things interesting. It makes things complicated, but it makes things interesting. So this is about, as therapists, one of the things we've talked about for years is family therapy within. That within us, there's so many aspects, oftentimes conflicting with each other, that we need to do family therapy within. Well, this is the same kind of a thing, that within us, there's all these facets and these aspects, and some of them are even competing within themselves. I sent an email the other day, and I was doing that on behalf of myself. Part of me thinks this, and part of me thinks that, and part of me thinks this, and part of me thinks that. And I got some really nice responses, especially from two of the guys in the group, about, yeah, feel the same way. Good morning, Barb. Good morning, Gwen. Glad you're here. Barb, yes, you've been here. Family are complicated. Yes, family are complicated. Complex. And let's work on seeing those complexities as a good thing rather than, oh God, here we go again, right? And we have Easter coming up, right? So we want to be prepared for, how can I embrace my big, whole, messy family, if family's what you're going to be doing for Easter? And if not, how do I embrace my big, old, messy me? Because there's so much contradiction within us as well. So let's read the chapter, because I think you're going to like this. Be Your Whole Dazzling Chart. And the quote is from Howard Thurman. And if you haven't ever read any Howard Thurman, he's a good read. He's a good read. Follow the grain in your own wood. So there's a way to honor what's going on within us. All right. So Tosha says, while I was eating at a cafe in Ojai, California, a guy wearing a poncho and a straw hat walked up to say he had an important message from my angels. Ojai being Ojai, a vortex of all things new age, groovy, and sometimes insane, this seemed like the most natural thing in the world, so I invited him to sit down. His message was brief. He closed his eyes and spoke as if he was transmitting from a staccato radio. You, unusual, half and half, everything, introvert, extrovert, east, west, brain, heart, young, old, woman, man, everything, no forget. Then he left to go buy a burrito. And that's an aspect of her that I absolutely love. She is open to the craziness. She's just very open to all the wild things that unfold in a lifetime. She says, well, this was so accurate, he didn't know the half of it. I'd spent years trying to dissolve the innate paradoxes of my nature until I realized one day we were born to embrace them. And my friend Kayleen demonstrates this by talking about and. It's not either or, it's and. I'm this and I'm that. I'm divine masculine and divine feminine. I'm liberal and I'm conservative. I'm this and I'm that. We all have this mix within us. And to honor it and embrace it, it's going to get us a whole lot further than trying to ignore it, creating that shadow that we then run away from. Yeah. She's talking about her own chart here. My planets in Aquarius and Sag were the life of the party, but a strong Neptune longed to hide at home. The Capricorn sun in me worked like a dog, but my Libra rising only wanted a hot tub. On and on. I had to learn how to let all the different conflicting parts speak with abandon. Those online tests where you're deemed a type were impossible. Depending on my mood or the time of day, the answers would shift, just like my illegible handwriting. So I tend to attract clients ablaze with contradictions, like Lee, the vivacious Sag from Los Angeles. She has a ton of fire. Until recently, her Scorp moon ran the show. It filled her life with a steady diet of emotional Sturm and Drang, while her poor fire sign suffocated, longing for fun and adventure. But now she's owning her Sag and aging in reverse, becoming the spontaneous spirit she repressed in her younger days. I love that idea. There was actually one, I don't even know, what do you call it? A protocol that used colors. And so you were a certain color and you had other colors that sort of influenced that your main color and blah, blah, blah. And the woman who created this system was going through my chart with me. And she said, gray, how do you have gray in your chart? And then she explained to me what gray was. And gray was like your typical accountant, actuary, dot, 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 everything in alignment. And I said, well, I can tell you that. I'm not at all that, but I own businesses. You have to be gray or your businesses are going to fail. You have to be able to do your books. You have to be able to understand what you can do and what you can't do. Good morning, Beth. Glad you're here. Welcome. So I was artificially gray. I thought that was interesting. But I love that idea of aging in reverse, becoming more of our spontaneous self, becoming more of our lighthearted, let's see what happens if I do this, exploratory, experimental self. So most of us have been so buttoned down over the course of a lifetime, trying to raise families, do all the things, volunteer, do a job, be a spouse, blah, 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 blah. We need to kick up our heels a little bit. Maybe not literally because we might fall down, but figuratively, it's time to kick up our heels, to have some joy, to have some fun, to have some lightheartedness. And I do believe that's why Spirit gave us grandchildren, because they will teach us how to do this again. So here's another one of her little stories about the complexities of people. Someone else called me recently from Germany. She had a batch of planets in grounded Taurus, yet her Aries moon sat next to rebel Uranus. When I suggested she might be living a more cautious life than her unconventional moon pined for, she whooped loudly and vigorously agreed. A dutiful Virgo I know, with a practical Saturn on his sun, graduated from law school to appease his father. Guess how this is going to turn out. But within 6 months of practicing, he had ulcers. His array of planets in Libra cried for art and beauty, so eventually he opened a boutique in New York. He confessed, honey, I was without a doubt the world's worst attorney. I'd be in the middle of a deposition dreaming of giving everyone a makeover. I'd never been around people with less style. It was like working on a special rung of Brooks Brothers hell. Sometimes I think the different planets in someone's chart are like guests at a cosmic party. Think about that. Think about all the different aspects of yourself, all the facets of who you are. Yes, your grandkids will help you kick up your heels, Mine will as soon as her heels can hit the ground. We'll get there. We'll get there. But if you think about those aspects of yourself as like guests at a cosmic party, some aspects blend, others clash. The trick is helping everyone feel included and comfortable. Just make sure no one takes over and drinks all the punch. So, and especially at this point in our lifetime, I really feel like we have far more opportunity to cultivate those aspects of ourselves that have been kind of sitting on the shelf cooling their jets. Time for them to come off the shelf and play, to be invited to the party, to have some fun. So, it's Saturday. Let's have some fun. What would you like to do today? Again, I'm going to drive to, I should have had them come here though. We're going to have 60 degrees. They're only going to have 42 degrees. They should have come here. Nonetheless, I'm going there. I'm looking forward to the drive. I like driving. I'm looking forward to seeing their new house. I'm looking forward to holding my grandbaby and my grand dog. I think it's going to be awesome. So I hope you have some fun things planned for today. If you do not, make some, find some. Is there a shop that you've always driven past and thought, I want to go there? Go there. Is there a place you've always wanted to eat and never gone to? Go there. Is there something you've wanted to write about and you haven't given yourself the time or the space to do so? Do it. Go sit in the park. Take someone else's dog for a walk if you don't have a dog. Do a little something just for you. Enjoy every minute. Yes. I'm just waiting. All right, we'll see you again tomorrow. Remember, you are capable of far more than you think you are. And also, for those of you who are interested, tomorrow we are doing I get to grab the time here, next Unity Intention Zoom. So it's basically we get together for a half an hour on Zoom, and we're just sending up good energy and prayers to heal ourselves, Mother Earth, conflict, etc. If you'd like to join us, just send me an email, Bonnie at empowermentandpurpose.com, and then I'll send you to the other Bonnie, because it's Bonnie and Bonnie who do this thing on Sundays once a month. And I'll have her get you the email link or the Zoom link to join us. So see you later. Have a good day. Bye.